So I got almost 2 pounds of blueberries for $4.50, and then I got a roughly 13-pound turkey for $6.22. Obviously, I'm really proud.
Hi! Welcome to The Feminist Homemaker. My name is Luna, and I predominantly post videos about teaching domestic skills and independent living for any age, gender, or income. Today is part 2 of my holiday low buy or low spend series, and we are 3 days into November. So let's get started on how things are going to be different for this month as opposed to last month. So last month, the goal was to follow all the budgets where I front-loaded them and allocated all that I was going to spend with $100 cushion. And the goal within that cushion was to have no more than 4 receipts, which I did meet. November is going to be different in the sense that in between taking the first video of last month where I was really confident about November, I found out I'm going to be posting a lot of family actually, which I'll get into in a little bit. I am still going to go over the budget of what I'm expecting with the amount of people that I'm having, and I am still going to try to not buy anything that I don't need and just be really creative with what I already have for hosting. The one thing that I knew once this was coming that I was going to have to buy is a queen size air mattress to host family in my library/guest room. So I am having 4 people sleep over at our house, 2 adults and 2 kids, and then I am having 7 people in my house for Thanksgiving dinner aside from my husband and I. So yes, right now I am going to put away my Halloween supplies, see if I downsize anything, and then start taking out all the stuff that I have for like Thanksgiving, if I have any like napkins or tablecloths or whatever. So we'll see. All right, so I have just finished front-loading the budget, and here are the main allocations. So I have put $500 into household and grocery expenses, as not only are we hosting family for Thanksgiving, but we are also having 4 family members stay with us for almost a week leading up to it. And then because we are taking them sightseeing for a couple of days, I have put some extra money into takeaway, just like I did last month. Now, I'm still planning on like making coffee in the morning when we're heading out and bringing snacks, but it's just a reality that like if we're out all day, we're going to need a full meal at some point, especially as my husband is planning on taking a day off of work to come with us, so that needs to be accounted for. I have also allocated extra funds into fuel and tolls, just in case they want to travel around New England while they're here. And lastly, I have made sure to account for extra electricity that we are going to spend as we are having a full house. We're having kids over, so TVs are going to be running, lights are going to be on in different rooms, obviously cooking for Thanksgiving, but that needs to be accounted for as well. So what I have functionally done is put all or almost all of our monthly net income into our expenses. So we can be ready for anything and we know exactly what our limit is. So the goal is not to spend all of it. The goal is to know what exactly our max point is that we can't pass. And so by taking all of that income and putting it into the places that we're expecting it, we can visually see where the line is. The reason we are able to do this is because of how unexpected expenses and income is working this month. So essentially, we had a refund check that we were waiting on for a while finally come in, and so that's being put into unexpected income. So we are allocating that money for anything we need to buy. One of those items is the Queen Air mattress that I bought. But other items are snow boots for my husband and I, as both of ours just died at the end of last winter. We're still going to try and be creative around hosting. I'm going to try to borrow sleeping bags for the kids, for example. But there are going to be things that we need to buy, and we're going to keep our eyes open for sales on those items. We are still separating this money with thoughtfulness. We're not just going to go into a store and impulse buy anything. We are going through our closets and accounting for everything that we need for the upcoming winter season, and then we're going to buy only those items. Because of that, my goal for unexpected expenses this month is not going to be a receipt count, but a total justification of every purchase, as I mentioned earlier. So I'll be going over where I spent the money and like what I bought, at the end of the month once I'm sure that I've kept everything. But that is going to be how things will be done going forward this month. So, yeah. So, because I have family coming up, I want to use this opportunity to give them their Christmas presents. Now, obviously for the family that is flying in, that might not be possible, and to do so will require the gifts to be really, really small. However, I do have 2 siblings who are driving up, and so I know that they can just put the gifts in their car. So regarding holiday gift giving, I had a rule that I was very upfront and vocal about of never spending more than $5 per person. And the reason was because I had a big family, and so not only was it necessary for economical reasons, but it also helped keep things fair. There was no argument about like favoritism or anything like that. It's just, this is what I was able to get for $5. Now, in recent years, what I've been doing is as I'm downsizing and I'm separating things that are going to go into donations versus what is going to go to like online marketplaces to sell. If I see something that I know someone would really love or that really needs, I separate that instead of listing it online to sell. Doing this, I'm able to give them a much greater gift because once I get that first sort of like base item, so the one big gift that is going to be the main piece and set the theme, I pull a bunch of other smaller items from things that I'm downsizing and I put it all together in sort of like a gift basket. Sometimes it is literally in a basket that is something I am downsizing and removing from my home inventory. I know some people might not like that, but my mentality is if something is in perfectly good condition and I know it would make a great gift for somebody, what is the difference between me spending the money in December versus spending the money for it back when I bought it? So I already have my baby brother's gift, which is a Star Wars themed gift basket composed of 2 items that are household items for his new place and 1 piece of nerdy decor. So the other item on my to-do list for this month is to get together my sister's gift basket and then see if I can get anything for the family that is going to be flying in. You are looking at $80 worth of groceries over here. And that's because all our toiletries ran out at once, or our major ones. Obviously, ran out of ibuprofen, acetaminophen, bar soap, our Aquaphor lip balm stick, my husband's body wash, my body wash, deodorant, my conditioner that they don't sell in a smaller bottle, and then obviously some food behind as well. But this is the majority of it. So we're fine. We just had to take a little bit of an advance from next week, but I definitely want to sit down and make the grocery list for Thanksgiving and go shopping for that because I want to make sure that I have enough funds allocated for that and then use whatever's left over from that to do meals for the rest of the month.
So, I intended to film this the day before Thanksgiving so I could have it edited and up over the weekend, but obviously stuff happened. The beauty from ashes of it all is that I had more time to reflect after the chaos and think about what I learned and what my takeaway from this month was. For the budget, I made lots of Excel sheets, which I will be putting on screen, but I will be looking off screen at my computer where my Excel sheets are. So, let's start with Thanksgiving dinner. So the full dinner, sides, dessert, everything, cost just under $60. The biggest save was that my neighborhood grocery store had a sale on frozen turkeys for 47 cents a pound if you spent $25 in the store. So I went through the weekly ad and bought things I needed that were on sale there, like shredded cheese and blueberries. The latter of which I also had a member's reward coupon for $3 off of produce. So I got almost 2 pounds of blueberries for $4.50, and then I got a roughly 13-pound turkey for $6.22. Obviously, I'm really proud. For winter shopping, we bought 35 items, so 17 bought secondhand and 18 new, for a total of $363.48. Unfortunately, everything we bought we needed, so there's nothing I could return to reduce the total amounts. Fortunately, we bought pretty much everything we needed, and for some really great prices. The one item we for sure need to still buy is my husband's snow boots. I contemplated going over every item for this section, but instead I'd just like to give an overview and then go over some of the big ticket items, like the real winners. So my husband's 16 items on the list, which are italicized, are costing $171.52. And my clothing, excluding the snow boots, costs $147.98. My husband has a slightly greater cost, even though he has slightly less items, because he shops big and tall. So it's harder to find clothes for him, but when we do, it's not going to be anywhere near as cheap as I can find them. I have a lot of shirts on this list because I literally only had 3 long sleeve shirts prior to this. So from mid-autumn all the way to early spring, I was either constantly doing laundry or I was taking a heat tech base layer and putting that underneath a short sleeve shirt. Now I have an actual wardrobe to suit multiple degrees of cold weather, and I can thermoregulate for either a crisp autumn day or for deep winter. Now let's go over an example of what great deals we were able to find, because as much of a gut punch as a total is, we were able to get amazing quality items at a great price. My husband got a heavy-duty LL Bean fleece-lined Henley for $9.79 when the original price is $89.95. And he got a Duluth brand quarter zip sweater for $8.39 when the original price is $74.50. Now, if you live in cold weather climate and you know these brands, you know they're really good and they're worth the money. But obviously, who has the money to spend on that? So it's amazing that we were able to find this at such a great deal. We both got genuine shearling slippers from Costco for $28.99 each that have been holding up amazingly. I bought them and we came home and I was like, let me see if there's a difference. And oh my goodness, is there. This is well worth the money considering just polyester plastic slippers cost like $20. Then I got a down vest for $9.43 and a down coat for $7.19. The latter of which I got so cheap because the zipper on both pockets were torn, but nothing a little hand sewing couldn't fix. I also got an amazing woolen cashmere sweater for $6.79. One thing I love about it is the cowl can be worn off the shoulder or it can be pulled up to sort of be a like makeshift hood. And it is so warm. Lastly, I got this J. Crew alpaca and merino wool blend sweater, which is also so warm, for $9.99, when the original price for this item ranges from $138 to $158. So, let's go over what I've learned this month. I think it's good to know how much to anticipate to pay for quality items, even at a deal. I think tracking the spending this way in November helps a lot, because if I just saw the dollar total at the end of the month, I think I'd feel really bad. But looking at exactly what we bought, knowing that I needed that, and that I'm getting great deals on quality items that are going to last, makes me feel a lot better. And just, I have to face the fact that the cost of living is high and the wages aren't, and that there's nothing I can do about that, but I am controlling my spending and what I can do with my income where I can. I'm glad we can afford to get the clothes that we need to dress warmly for winter this year, and not stress if the one item that I own that would actually hold up to a winter walk is dirty. I'm glad that my husband actually got clothes that fit him and that he can tuck in his flannels if he wants to. I'm glad that he got sweaters to hold up to his winter commutes. I'm also really proud of myself for holiday hosting. And I think being able to have this really hearty dinner with leftovers for almost everyone through the weekend for such an affordable amount is really encouraging for anyone doing Christmas or New Year's Eve hosting. I also did for Thanksgiving Day lunch a charcuterie board spread with meats, cheeses, so many types of crackers, olives, nuts, hummus, veggies, jams, butter, and bread for $43.43. This filled 7 adults and 2 kids, and I have so many crackers still left over, I could probably do another charcuterie spread. So maybe I'll do another video on hosting an affordable charcuterie night for under $50. I think overall, this month didn't go how I expected or how I planned, but I am happy that I was able to manage it in the way that I did. All right, I hope this video was helpful and informative. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you'll be here next time. Bye!